one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Bell.
Here.
Trustee Brewer.
Here.
Trustee Grant. Trustee Jazinski. Trustee Todd. Here. And Trustee Williams.
Here.
I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of pending litigation and priority matters.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add personnel to the executive session. I wonder if we could move that to the end of the agenda.
I think there's many things to do. Yeah, you need to try to get some of these lawyers out of the way. Personnel.
The very first part of the agenda is discussion of personnel matters.
Moved by Trustee Williams, second by Trustee Jazinski. Any questions?
Trustee Bell.
Yes.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Jazinski.
Yes.
Trustee Todd.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Motion carried. We go into executive session. Order our last 48. Motion to reconvene. So moved. Second. Moved by Trustee Bell and second by Trustee Todd. Any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Jazinski.
Yes.
Trustee Todd.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Bell.
Yes. Motion is carried. I'll accept the motion to approve the journal proceedings for the May 14, 2019 regular board meeting.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Trustee Williams, second by Trustee Bell. Any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Trustee Jazinski. Trustee Todd.
Yes.
Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Bell.
Abstain.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Motion is carried. I'll accept the motion to approve the proceedings for the inaugural board meeting, that's the second meeting, on the same night, May 14, 2019. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Bell, second by Trustee Jazinski. Any questions? Madam Clerk?
Trustee Jazinski.
Yes.
Trustee Todd. Yes. Trustee Williams.
Yes.
Trustee Bell.
Yes.
Trustee Brewer.
Yes.
Trustee Grant.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Item number 5, public comment. All questions and comments will be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter pertaining to the business of our village. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. As I stated before, if it gets personal, I will stop. At that time, I will stop questions. So if we get too personal, as it requires to get any personal, instead of asking questions about the business of the village, I will stop that. I listen to all comments, and at the end, I will reply. All that, that's the thing. So, when you step up, please give your name. Good night.
Judy Canister, on your reports of trustees and standing committees, I've waited since the new trustees got in to see what was going to happen, and one thing has been overlooked time after time, and that is who's going to take care of parks and recreation. I know you indicated that you wanted to hire somebody part-time to run the community center, but that doesn't account for who's going to have accountability for what goes on. And I'd like to know who that is going to be. Nobody has said anything at all about parks and recreation. It's summertime, the kids are all over the place, and we have nothing going on. I don't know what can be done, but it would help if we knew who was going to be taking part in it and see if that's something that we might be likely to volunteer for, depending on who's going to be running it. Thank you.
Tammy Jones, I just want to know if there was maybe possibly a better way of handling the interviews you guys just did. We just sat here for 2 hours, and it's really unjust to the residents.
My name is Deborah Johnson. I'm a real estate agent. My client here had a home inspection done by Mr. J. Rogers yesterday and was told that the village was corrupt and that all of her previous certifications she had done were null and void and that she would have to pay for every permit over. There's a total of like 5 of them. So she can talk to you here.
Yeah, I was talking to him, but because I told them that I pay in the beginning, and I have all my receipts that I pay, and he said, no, there is no records on the village that you pay, so he's gonna have to pay. Because he's gonna make everything straight. He said, because everybody from before, they removed it because they all like, I was talking about that, in that moment when I bought my house in 2015, I was talking that the Sherry, she's the one who helped me out. She was in church, and he said that she's not there no more. So she was removed because she was corrupt.
Okay.
Could you repeat that last statement? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
The guy, Jay Rogers, he's an inspection, he went to get my inspection, and he was complaining about my whole house. Since I have recently, it was 4 years ago, that he has everything done, they inspect everything from the village, and now he said that nothing is done no more. I have to pay for all my permits again. So I just like, if he want me to do my stairs, the driveway, everything.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so he want me to do the whole house. So, and I have the electric, the wires, and I just had done that 4 years ago. So that's my issue.
What's her name? Who's the name?
My name?
I don't know her name, but her name was Deborah.
My name is Juana Salazar.
One.
Joanna Salazar. I live in 22407 Jason. So he said, he didn't even give me the list because he was charging me 300 and then I didn't even know that I have to pay that. So I said, I don't have that money, but he said, well, I'm not gonna give you the list, but it wasn't like so many things that I had to do. And he said, if you want to sell your house, you have to do this.
center, and we're looking, trying to bring some other programs in. Right now, it's working on on a volunteer basis, but it seems like they're doing a pretty decent job, and hopefully we can get someone to come in and be a part-time. As far as the interview process, I've been a trustee since 2006. First time I've ever sat where the whole board actually interviewed the people, so that's why it took so long, because you have the whole, usually you have a consortium of people that would come out and interview, or they would come into a certain period of time, but I was notified that this is what they wanted to do today, have the interview today at the board meeting, so I thought we were going to have more lawyers, so that's why I tried to move it up first and get rid of, because we had an executive session here, so I'm trying to make sure that we got that done, but hopefully next time it doesn't take that long for a period of time, but as I said before, I've never had a whole board interview. I mean, you have 7 people asking questions. It can be rather lengthy if you have 5 people. To make that kind of statement, ma'am, I'm sorry that that happened. I'm sorry that you feel that way. But I'm sorry. I'm talking about statements as far as Sherry being corrupt and all that. I'm sorry that someone told you that, because that whoever told you that, you need to find out, because that's a libel. Basically, it's very libel for someone to say something like that. So, for somebody to say something that way, that's totally wrong. So I'd like to find out more about that. But in regards to what it is that you have to do to get that property under control, I'm sure that you can come in tomorrow. We have people that's got a person here that can take care of that to find out the proper way. I'm just giving a quick summary. In order for you to get an occupancy permit, you have to have a inspection. Now, whatever it entails, it doesn't mean that just because you had an inspection 3 or 4 years ago, that it means something right now. If you get an occupancy permit, you have to have an inspection now. So, but you had one before, and you weren't the person that actually lived there. If you come in, you would want someone to inspect your property, and you're moving in brand new. So if you're moving in brand new, you want that to happen. And as far as you saying that the $300 or whatever case, that's nothing that the village charges. That's between you and whoever you get to do the inspection. So we don't have a person that does inspections for money. So, we have a person that does inspections, but they don't give you certification. They come and inspect, but they don't certify. So if you have someone that you want to have to come out and certify your furnace, electrical, plumbing, roof, pipe, anything like that, that's separate. That would be on you, the contractor. That being said, next item is reports of officers, the mayor's report. I'm going to refer my report to our interim community and economic development director. I'm sure everyone has been down 394 and saw what's going on there, so I'm not going to say any more about that. I will move along. So the next item is village court from Cameron Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to be very brief as well. I would like, though, for people to pull out your calendars or your telephones or whatever and mark the date, November the 29th. I know that I'm asking you to really look ahead, but the reason I'm asking you to look ahead is because I need you to clear your calendars for that day, even though it's the day after Thanksgiving, it's Black Friday. I mean, if you may want to go shopping, I'm asking you to forego shopping, because that is the day that we will be hosting a luncheon, a holiday luncheon for those who are in need, whether they're homeless or whether they have no family or limited family, and they just don't want to be alone, we are going to have a luncheon for them. And we, being the community partners that is a part of our village, as well as the Eastern Stars, and I also found out today that they may include a Masonic group as well, just so that we can have some men to help us with the loading and toting and serving and all of that. So I am asking you in advance to hold on to that day. Mr. Mayor, Mr. James Mack came before us, I would say maybe 7-8 months ago. He came at a committee meeting, and he was really excited to bring an arts program to the village at no cost to the village at all. I asked him to please wait until the election took place, simply because I was told that someone who was supposed to work with him did not really have time to follow up as you had asked. Well, I would like to say that the village clerk's office will be following up with Mr. Mack with this program, and it's something that the village clerk's office would like to bring. If you would like for me to have him come back and revisit with us so that new trustees, you can hear the program offerings that we have, I can make arrangements for him to do that this next Tuesday. Just please let me know your preference, and you can let me know that offline. That completes my report. Thank you very much.
Next Tuesday, of course, we want to have
So I'll bring that right. We have a special meeting. So when it's conducive, I'll bring it. I'll have them come forward. For the budget. Oh, yeah. We're supposed to be off Tuesday, but now
we
we're
have a
having.
budget meeting for the department heads next Tuesday, tomorrow. Okay, village engineer, Mr. Jim Zonic.
Thank you, Mayor. Very short report. The West Elevated Tank Riser Pipe Replacement Project will be rebid on July 9th. The project will be advertised in the Southtown, and we will be contacting contractors to do this type of work to notify them about the project. That concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Report to departments. Fire department, Captain Dennis Silver.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Fire Department responded to 32 calls for service for a period from June 6th through June 20th. Most serious was a structure fire on Murphy Avenue. The fire was through the roof by the time we arrived on scene. We had fire departments from our neighboring communities come to assist. The cause is still under investigation. 4th of July is just around the corner, so we'd like to remind everybody, please be safe. Let the professionals handle the fireworks. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Police Department Chief Malcolm White.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the period of June 12th through June 25th, the police department received and answered 465 calls for service. During that same time period, we made 18 arrests. On Saturday, July 2019, the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners for Sauk Village has been granted access to Bloomsdale High School to administer the testing process to establish an eligibility list for the position of probationary police officer. The testing includes an orientation, a power test or a physical wellness test, a written exam, and an oral interview. Interested applicants can find the information on the process on the blueline.com, and I believe there's a link on the village website. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Community Development and Economic Development, Interim Director, Tanya McCorn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My report is very short. I just want to introduce myself as the Interim Community and Economic Development Director. and to invite you guys to the grand opening of the gas and wash this Friday at 10 a.m. That concludes my report.
Thank you. I don't know if you heard, but yes, all invited at 10 o'clock. I don't think I need to tell you where it's going to be located. For those that don't know, it's right there, 394 Sauk Trail. Okay, reports of trustees, standing committees, and comments. Trustee Gary.
The next safety committee meeting will be July the 16th at 11 a.m. here in the Rotunda. And I'd also like to be put on for the next committee, the whole meeting, for discussion about honorary streets in the building. Honorary street signs and dedication of a building.
Public Service Committee, Trustee Bernice Brewer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're scheduling an energy assessment program for the ComEd and NICOR. That's going to be on July 19th, and that'll be our second annual one, and that's in my report.
Thank you. Budget and Finance, Trustee Roger Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Comment about my committee, I do plan to come back with proposals to the board about some of the cost saving initiatives that we can possibly do to kind of balance that budget pretty soon. Also, Madam Clerk, you put me down on the committee as a meeting next week as well for expected revenue for the gas and wash and how we plan to use that money. So it just doesn't get lost in the general fund. And then the last comment is that I believe we all received a new accounts payable. The only thing that changed was the decrease in the medical insurance, about a couple $1,000. So just want to make that note as well. And that's all I have.
Okay, that request for the meeting would have to be the third week.
That's fine.
Trustee Sherry Jazinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Housing Committee will meet July 10th at 7 o'clock here in the boardroom. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Linda Todd.
Thank you. The next ordinance review meeting will be July 8th at 11 a.m. here. We met yesterday. We're working on an ordinance in regards to dog kennels. Also looking at some of the things in the ordinance for dogs. But as far as you see in your packet, the standing committee, that should not be in the packet because it needs to be discussed with the trustees. And I just had that all typed up, so we will not be voting on that. I need to put on the next committee on the whole so we can discuss it. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Debbie Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I have to apologize. I misspoke at that first vote. I'm so sorry. It is so hot in here. I shouldn't have abstained. I knew better. I was not a sworn-in member of the board at that time. So if the clerk would be so kind as to change my vote to an abstain, I would appreciate it. Second of all, I also apologize for the executive session. When I found out what we were going in there for today, I did ask to have it on the back end, and while we were in there, I asked to come back in and go back out. We have a lot of business that needs to be taken care of, and unfortunately, some of it can only be done in executive session. So I apologize for the delay that we caused the residents. The Public Events Committee met and we talked again about several things that we'd like to do as soon as possible. We're trying to bring some new, fresh ideas to the board. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to have monthly workshops the fourth Saturday of July, August, and September. I don't have the flyers and the exact scope yet, but just know that on the fourth Saturday of July, August, and September, there will be workshops in the morning. And we have the recycling event has been confirmed with Commissioner Donna Miller's office for August 17th. You can bring in your prescription drugs, your electronics, and your paper to be recycled. 1 TV is allowed. And also on August 17th, it's been confirmed the Mentoring Youth Through Technology. We're looking for 20, 9 to 13-year-olds for the hours of 1 through 4. This event will be held in the Senior Center. And what they are going to be doing is teaching the children, the 20 of the 9 to 13-year-olds about robotics. It's a very interesting program. It's been held in other communities, and we're looking forward to a new partnership with this organization, Mentoring Youth Through Technology. We also have a committee member who is going to be working on hosting a brunch with local elected officials, and I appreciate her input. And we have a couple other committee members that have decided that they would like to also take charge of some events, so more details as they come. And you can contact me if you have any questions. Our next meeting is July 18th at 5 p.m. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Reports of committees and commissions, Senior Advisory Council, Chairman Kevin Farmer.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. It's a mistake on the first part of the report. It says our next meeting for the Senior Advisory Council is Thursday. It's actually July 11, 2019. And all are welcome. Game night is every first and third Friday in the Senior Center. Please come out one of these Fridays and invite the seniors to beer quiz and other games. Also, we're having a senior potluck, and that's going to be Tuesday, July 16th, from 11 to 2 p.m. We welcome all seniors to participate and bring something fantastic dishes. Please contact Paulette Meeks or Carol Coleman and let them know what you are bringing. Also, Medicare awareness meetings on Tuesday, July 9th, and Tuesday, July 23rd, 2019, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll be specializing in Medicare plans for seniors that have diabetes and or heart disease, and low-income subsidies that will help them save on their prescription drugs. Thank you all. That concludes my report.
Thank you. New business. I'll accept the motion to approve the payroll and accounts payable and disbursements in the amount of $323,211.20.
Mr. Mayor, that number changed. The new number is $320,255.63.
Okay. $320,255.63.
Yep.
I'll accept the motion.
So,
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve accounts payable with the following exceptions and continued directions. To direct the interim finance director to stop all payroll payments for the positions of fire administrator, community development director, and interim community development director. The positions of interim economic development director and fire administrator have not been approved in the 2019-2020 budget, and these appointments have not been made with the advice and consent of the board. It is further directed that Dr. Alicia Strouder receive payment only for the amount covered in the statement of work that was previously approved by the board, which was $85 per hour for 17.45 hours of work, for a total of $1,483.25 per week, until which time any consultant fees other than those included in the statement of work are approved with the advice and consent of the board. The statement of work also includes a maximum approved budget amount of $6,000 a month total. The mayor does have the right to appoint, but only with the advice and consent of the board. The board will continue to monitor past and future appointments and act accordingly. That's a motion.
Okay, first of all,
second.
there was a motion on the floor. There wasn't a second action. Excuse me. There was a motion on the floor. There wasn't a second. I didn't get a chance to say the motion was lost before this motion was played. So I asked for a second. I didn't get one yet, but then there was another motion put in. That's not how it is. I'm sure you know that as a.
I apologize.
So, that being said, I'm asking, is there a second for the original motion? Okay, if none of the second, then it will be lost for the lack of a second. Now, for the second part that you put in, for the motion to exclude X, Y, and Z, all of these things that you put up there already, I had this to say. First of all, trustee, when she was hired, it was put in her contract, as you stated, for X amount with the approval. I don't you got to keep reading that statement, with the approval of the village, of the mayor. Now, she was giving extra hours at the time that we didn't have a village finance director. herself and the treasurer, before you became trustee, the board that was here okayed that because of that reason. Now, you're saying that you don't want to pay for X amount. Now you're trying to, I don't know if you're, but that's exactly what you're doing, is you're changing her rate. And it was put in there that she would do 24 hours a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 8 hours a day, until such time we get someone to fill that position. No, so when you make these motions, you gotta understand that there's repercussions that come behind that. And then the other part, I didn't get a chance, because I wasn't really listening, that you didn't want to pay. Well, I wasn't listening because the motion wasn't done properly. You want to pay, so can you please tell me what it is you don't want, what else you don't want to pay?
Well, the way it was explained to me by board members who were on the board previous to this, the only thing that was approved by the board was the statement of work. If that was a mistake from the previous board members, then I need clarification as a new board member. You have to remember, you got board members that weren't here when all of this was happening.
That's what I'm saying.
I have a statement of work in front of me, and I'm willing to listen to you.
Okay.
And I'm willing to hear the truth.
Okay.
I'm willing to see what you have. I'm willing to see board minutes that stipulate to the extra hours that were given to this position. Because all I've been given, and I've asked for this information, all I've been given is a statement of work. And this statement of work said that the pay will be no more than $6,000 per month. If you look at the accounts payable that is before us today, if you add up the $22.95, $22.95, $850, and $807, you've got almost $5,000 for 2 weeks of work. So that far exceeds this, almost exceed, well, it will exceed. If that were to be doubled, we would be doubling what the statement of work is. If you have a new statement of work or a new contract with Dr. Strotter, we need to know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk over
I
you.
know, and you're not going to do that, you will not be successful, I guarantee you.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, I know what I am, and I am keeping order. Let me review
I was
what
referring to
just
the
happened.
mayor's
Let me
question.
refer you to what just happened. Trustee Grant made a motion. Because there was a lack of a second, the motion failed. Prior to that, you entered a long, lengthy motion that did not go. The mayor shared that with you. You agreed. You apologized. Then, before the mayor had an opportunity to ask if there was anyone else willing to speak, you just started talking. So right now, the discussions that's taking place is not on the agenda. You have to let your mayor control his meeting. Otherwise, we're out of order. And we do not want to be out of order. Can we give the control of this meeting back to the mayor? He is the presiding officer of this forum.
You don't have to look at me with those eyes that you've got.
Okay.
I look for respect.
Hold it. We're not going to do that.
That's just.
We're not going to do that. Okay, well, we're not going to, that's what I said, we're not going to do
Yeah,
that.
that's totally disrespectful. I'm not going to be disrespectful.
Okay, we're not going to go back and forth. We're not putting the show on, popcorn is not available, and we're not going to rerun it. So I'm just saying, only thing I'm asking you, and I said, if you had came to me, this was done last week, I'm sure, this particular accounts payable, because it's brought to you guys a week ahead of time. And someone came to me and said, can you explain this? I would have been more than glad to show you where it is stated that we did this back at that time. But to wait now, the time that we get ready to vote and to come up with your dissertation and everything and say we're not going to pay because of A, B, and C, I think it's really wrong. But as you stated before, as you told me before, we got the board, we got the votes. Okay, fine. I'm just letting you know that to go around, as you've done before me, even ask, is this pliable? Is this correct? Why is she getting so much money other than what she was supposed to get? I would have been glad to show you where it was voted that they did extra hours along with Mr. Finch because of the reason. So now you're asking to take her salary, and I don't know who the other
Mr.
people are.
Mayor, I'm going to hold you as well. There is no motion on the floor. There is no need for discussion unless you are leading the charge. Are you going to?
Well, I'm asking.
Okay, the motion failed. Where do you go now?
That motion failed, so there was another motion on the floor.
No, her motion was before that.
Okay, so then
So
I
now-
have to ask you, okay, we'll just be redundant. Are you gonna,
That's it.
are you making the motion now, trustee Williams?
You are recognizing me, Mr. Mayor, because I don't want the clerk to
Yes,
put her eyes at me.
are you amending
Yes, sir.
the motion?
Okay, yes, I would like to make a motion. Okay. Yeah, I would like to make a motion, and based on what you just said, I will amend my motion this way. I will make this motion. I will make this motion. We can be disrespectful if we want to.
We're not gonna go.
I make a motion to approve accounts payable with the following exceptions and continued directions. To direct the interim finance director to stop all payroll payments for the positions of fire administrator, community development director, and interim community development director. The positions of interim economic development director and fire administrator have not been approved in the 2019-2020 budget, and these appointments have not been made with the advice and consent of the board. It is further directed that Dr. Alicia Strada receive payment only for the amount covered in the statement of work that was previously approved by the board, which was $85 per hour for 17.45 hours of work, for a total of $1,483.25 per week, in which time any other consultant fees other than those included in the statement of work are approved with the advice and consent of the board. Having been told that those things have been approved by your previous board, I'm only asking that those payments be withheld until the new board can review the statements that you say are now currently in place. Because the only thing I have, and I asked for this information, and the only thing I was provided for Dr. Strauder was a statement of work that says that there's a cap of $6,000, which I see by looking at the accounts payable, we're about to exceed that $6,000 in 2 weeks. So, Mr. Mayor, if you could provide those things, my motion is to withhold that until which time the board can review it. And you can do the same thing you've done before. You can set it on the table and we can look at it.
Is there a second for this?
Second.
Is there a question? I do have a question. I'm trying to see if I can formulate this correctly. But it seems very, very, very obvious that people that were part of or whatever prior to you coming in are being attacked. You came in attacking Dr. Strawler, and you came in attacking Mr. Wizard while you refused to pay him. Okay, fine. You refused to pay him, you didn't give a scope. You didn't say what was you looking for. I'm still waiting to hear that from whatever lawyer that's supposed to be coming in. That hasn't happened yet. But now to stop someone's paycheck because you didn't see, it didn't ask to see, didn't ask me to show where the hours were added, which it was added, to just say I don't want to pay. Now it seems it's personal, and it is personal. So if that's what the board wants to do, is withhold those 3 positions, and the other one is an interim position. All I did was elevate this person to an interim position. It's not permanent, it's interim till we find someone. But to say that it's not in 19 and 20's budget, 19 and 20's budget hasn't started yet. So this is 18 and 19 budget. And yes, that money was in there for that. But to make that statement that it was in the new budget, we're still talking about the new budget. It hasn't even started. We still got a meeting tomorrow that's going to last until 12 o'clock about the 18 and 19 budget. So to use that as is not in the budget is wrong, it's false. However, if this board wants to vote not to pay a person for services rendered, I just want to make sure that's on the record that the board does not want to pay a person for services rendered, and you want to take that particular, because the people that you're talking about, it is a personal thing. So if that's what you want to do, and because last time they had to show everything they did from the time they got up in the morning to the time they left this building, and you came in to look at their resume, look at their invoices. So nothing's changed. So yes, it seems like it is personal at this point. At that, I would take a vote.
I'm sorry, but
At that, I would take a vote.
Mr. Mayor,
That was my question. You made your statement, trustee. You made your statement.
And the trustees
And
have to come
I
back
have
and
a question. I have a question. That was my question. I'm not entertaining anymore because you had your chance, trustee. At that time, when you gave down there that you had to say, you said it twice.
Trustee Jazinski, yes or no?
No, you need to allow me to respond to that because you
What
made a lot of
response
false
was? You responded by making a motion. You responded by
First
making
of all,
a
you brought
motion.
another former employee into this there was a statement read last week.
Now we want to debate.
That's right, but Mr.
We
Mayor.
want to debate now. That's what you're doing, trustee. You're debating. I just made a comment of what I've seen in the last 3 weeks.
Okay, you want to make.
That's what I made a comment. That's all I did.
Why do you make appointments without coming to your board first? This is all about.
Can we take a vote, Madam Clerk?
I know, I'm out of order. But the mayor's not out of order to just make appointments whenever he gets ready.
Trustee Brewer? Yes. Trustee Grant?
No.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Motion is carried. You don't even have a plan. I need to have a plan with this person before we get that check.
supposed to be excited on that.
So, excuse me.
That's out of order.
You can, I'm out of order. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. The next item. The next item is the ordinance amending section 8-29 fee schedule for the village of Sauk Village Municipal Code. It was moved by trustee Todd, second by trustee Bell. Any questions?
Trustee Todd?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Bell?
Yes.
Trustee Brewer? Yes. Trustee Grant? Yes. Trustee Jazinski? Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, we have one last thing before we adjourn. Swearing in of. Mr. Howard? Come right on up, sir. I'm sure you're gonna come with the chief. You're gonna be sworn in by the clerk.
Can you please raise your right hand and repeat after me, please? We're in the state of Cook County, and if you say I, Jacob S. Howard, having been appointed
acceptable all. Before we close, I'm sure that you trustees, before the night's out, will give the payroll clerk or someone that can, well, I put it this way, the payroll clerk, what stipulations you want to have this person get paid, rather than just hold this check. That being said, I accept the motion to adjourn. Moved by trustee Williams, second by trustee Bell, all in favor?
Aye.